It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Olaiya Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Obiajilu Ugbo. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing.
Hi.
Excellent morning, ladies.
How is everything?
Everything is fine. So I worked all weekend because I was trying to sort out my wares for the trade fair starting on Wednesday. You know, last time the mistake I made was carrying all my wares at once. So the whole place, I'm telling you, the whole place was full. The car was full, the house was full. So now I've sorted it in such a way that I'll take bags gradually. So as I sell out, I just replace. But then I decided to also use the opportunity to hang out with a few friends and took my kids out. They have been blackmailing me that I am the witch of the house. I'm the one that does not want their daddy to take them out. And now daddy has traveled. So I had to redeem my image. We went to the beach. We had landmark yesterday till like 9 p.m.
Oh,
We had so much fun. We didn't want to leave.
Fantastic.
Yeah, just
nice.
family time.
It's been a long time I've done.
As in,
you took us last year. I've not
Yes,
done
I
the beach.
did.
mainland people, which is too far from us. We need to find what is closer to us.
How are you doing, Nima? How was your weekend?
I'm fine. This weekend I just rested. I felt a bit overwhelmed from last week and the traffic, and I found that I did not need a pill. All I needed was quality sleep. Fortunately, everybody and all the atmosphere around me conformed to give me that peace of mind. Locked myself in. I slept. I only came out yesterday to go to farmers market for a few basics and came back and I slept till this morning. So I feel very refreshed and healthy.
Nice.
Actually, sometimes it's not pills, it's not medicine. It's just, you know, the proper rest that you need. And I'm grateful.
Fantastic. So, Tope, how are you doing?
I'm very good. So on Wednesday, I had a quick chat with my mentor and something shifted. Very, very short. I set my goals for the year and you know, God has brought us
next year.
This year, and God has been faithful. So I just felt like it's not. Let me not overstress myself. But when she gave me a glimpse of what she's working on next year, I said, "This year is not over. Let me sit back and let me use the next few weeks well." So we have a promo for festive season, and this promo is our biggest deal. Like my office people were asking me, "Why are you doing this?" I said, "There's no need. Let's collect the money." And because people would spend their money this festive season, whether we give them an investment opportunity or not. So give a deal that would make people invest wisely. And then we're launching 2 new estates before the end of the year. So I'm really, really grateful to God, and I'm excited about what the next few days, finishing strong. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well done. Keep doing. Keep soaring high. Over the weekend, it was a very busy weekend for me. Like back-to-back Friday. We had 2 events. My husband had to attend. It was his girlfriend, Wuraola. She used to be okay, but now she's a adult. She was 50. She had a nice event in the morning. And Friday evening, my girlfriend, my cousin, Larry, is now a doctor. She actually worked for her, like this is a doctor, PhD. Yeah, Larry, yes, Fuja cousin. So she did so well, everybody celebrated her. Then Saturday, party, Honorable Agunsoye's daughter got married, so we attended the engagement ceremony, and then also Wura's 50th party, also the main party. And Sunday was just back-to-back meetings. I didn't get home till like almost midnight yesterday.
Oh my gosh!
Like really, really long day. I've been working all night, so my eyes are very heavy.
Like people don't understand. You're smiling. You don't look at it. So
I've been on my laptop since like about 4 a.m. You know,
oh
thank God, it's all for good. You know, trying to end the year strong.
With a bang.
Finish strong.
With a bang.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
We're going to start with The Nation. Ex-depot price hits 225 naira to the litre as petrol scarcity persists. Governors Gbajabiamila, others with Tinubu in the UK. Lagosians likely to ride on blue light rail before Christmas. That's good news. Adeleke certificates, my life under threat, says PDP chieftain. 500 doctors left in 2 years, says the Medical Council. Lovers bury newborn alive. Grandma expectant mom held for drugs. And how to curtail rising death profile by DMO. Okay, which story are we starting with?
The good news. So the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu may give Lagosians unexpected Christmas gift. So they said he may launch the real system within weeks, though this is coming 11 years behind schedule. Now, they said the Blue Line is currently undergoing a test run to certify if it's ready for commercial operation. We know that work began on the Blue Line in 2006 as a World Bank assisted project, and it was inherited by Governor Babatunde Fashola, who took it to about 80% before he left office in 2015. But because of the paucity of funds, it was not, the last administration was not able to continue. And so it was inherited back again by Sanwo-Olu's administration in 2001. And luckily, before the end of 2021, before the end of this year, we'll have it running. So they mentioned, they said it will run exclusively on a dedicated independent power plant, which will also help the state to, commit to cleaner energy and a sustainable development. Now, they said all the train stations at Mile 2, Relay, Alaba, National Theatre, and Marina were nearly ready for us to use. So hopefully we'll see that happen in December.
I've seen their testing. I love it when I see it.
Nice.
Yes, I have the story of the lovers who buried their newborn. So a 30-year-old woman, Balara Basheo, and a 25-year-old man, her lover, Amadou Saleh, alias Dan Kwairo, certainly involved in an immoral relationship. They had a pregnancy and a newborn that they dumped in the latrine somewhere and buried the baby. The police spokesman in Jigawa said that they rescued the baby from the toilet where it was buried, the latrine, and the baby was declared dead by a medical officer at the time they rushed the baby to the hospital. They have since arrested the man, and the matter is under further investigation. It's just sad that, in this time that some people are losing sleep, crying in their saddest times and spending a lot of money trying to have babies of their own. Some people are burying theirs.
All right, so the standard bearer for the APC presidential ticket will be in the UK today to speak at Chatham House. He's there accompanied by Governor of Kaduna State, Governor El Rufai, and the Governor of Jigawa State, and also the former Governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, all there with him. And he'll be speaking on the foreign policy, the United Kingdom's elite foreign and policy think tank institutions. If you recall, he was there back in 2011 to speak also, and then for on the topic on the opposition, of the rise of the opposition of Nigerian politics back in 2011. And he'll be speaking there also this time around to tell them of his plans on security, economic development for Nigeria, and how we can improve our exports to bring in more revenue for the country. So I think that should be about maybe 1 or 2 p.m. today. We'll see that conversation.
So I want to take the story of NDLEA in their ongoing effort to reduce prevalence of drum consumption. The carried out an operation, and the spokesman for the NDLEA, Femi Babafemi, spoke about the 60-year-old woman and a pregnant woman that was caught with drugs. The 60-year-old woman had drugs were sent to her, and it was packaged into a speaker. So she got 2 giant speakers, and inside the speaker they found 5.5 kilograms of loud variant of cannabis. And she said that this came from South Africa. Her daughter sent it. She said her daughter sent it to her, but she's been arrested. She's 60-year-old. And then there's a pregnant woman, an expectant mother, who was also caught with drugs. Then there's another man in Abuja, Ibrahim Momo. He's known as Ibrahim Bendel. He escaped from prison, maybe during the raid, and he was found back in his trade, trading 61 jumbo bags of cannabis in Abuja. River State also, there are reports of several cases, and I'm always just happy taking this story, but it's to serve as warning for anyone who is being contacted and lobbied to carry drugs not to do it. You might see others escape, but they are catching people on a daily basis, and you don't want to be one of those caught. So desist and stop doing it.
All right, moving on to Punch. Bauchi Gombe fight over the new oil wells. Man, you see the money? Got to be fight. Buhari seeks improved security in ECOWAS region. Police Arepo Estate accused of plotting murder suspects release. FG unveils new curriculum for varsities today. Zenith wins Bank of the Year award. Marketers resort to private depots shortage hits NNPC. Atiku Obi Kokonso lock horns at the town hall meeting. Nigeria's telecom subscribers hit 214 million. And poor network INEC to meet NCC telcos on Tuesday. Okay, let me start with the major headlines. So Bauchi and Gombe are going at each other because of the newly discovered oil well. According to them, they're laying claims to the Kolmani oil and gas field, which is both states are laying claim to. Now, Gombe is saying that he's insisting that the special advisor, no, actually, he's insisting that this contention is caused by the Boundary Commission for this controversy. They're the ones that have caused this controversy because they've not been able to properly demarcate, and they're hypocrites, according to him. He says NNPC and this National Boundary Commission are hypocrites, and they know the truth, and they refuse to state it. Bauchi, on the other hand, is saying that this issue is not for they're insisting that the area that this oil was discovered was actually situated in Bauchi State, not Gombe State, and that the chairman of the there's a lot of back and forth.
Please, is this oil not owned by Nigeria?
It's owned by Nigerians, but we have to know who's going to get the 13% derivative eventually. So they have
to be
over
clear.
$1 billion barrels worth of oil that has attracted already $3 billion investment so far. So this is not small money we're talking about.
Let me use oil to follow the story. So according to the Ip Man boss, quickly, let me get his name. He says that federal government have been doing us like this. In a statement by the Ogun State chairman of Ip Man, Mosimi Depo, he says that he called out the NNPC and the federal government, that they've not had petrol at their federal government-owned depots. The one in Ogun State has been empty. He says that even though those depots, prior in the year, they were getting petrol from them at 148 per litre, but now they are all not serving anybody, and that explains the crisis and traffic I have to bear every day, that they have been resorting to the private depots in Lagos, obviously at Ijegun, to lift petrol at 215 to 220 naira per litre from those depots. So you can imagine when it gets to the petrol station, it will then be selling for 245 to 250 per litre. And that's what they've been going through. He issued this in a letter. And, the costs continue to vary across states. By the time they are traveling with the product, continue to vary across states in the report. So I don't know what NNPC is saying. They can't keep telling us they have sufficient supply, and Ipman is saying otherwise. And we too, we are seeing otherwise. Yeah. Who is deceiving who?
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Yes, you see how the story?
Yes. So the police and the leadership of Havana Estate, Arepo, Ogun State, have been accused of plotting to bury a case involving a woman identified as a Motayo, who allegedly poured chemical on a 70-year-old painter, Emmanuel Agbeli, which led to his death. So according to the story, they said both of them have been in disagreements for a long time. And two of them attend the same church. One is the English department and another is in the Yoruba department. And so this particular day, Omotayo, no, that's the first guy. I want to get his name now. Emmanuel was, praying in his room when Omotayo walked in and poured a chemical on him. So he just realized that he was feeling somehow, and then he went out to report to one of their neighbors and a security officer. On his way back to his room, he slumped and died. So the case has been taken to the police station. The Mrs. Omotayo has been arrested, and they are saying that there's a plot to, hide, just do away with the case, because the victim's wife, the deceased wife, is poor. She sells in Arepo market, so she's not able to afford a lawyer to, continue the case. But she's saying that though they are, putting pressure on her to withdraw the case out of the police station, but she says she wants that lady to be in the police station, police custody for at least 6 months. Now she doesn't have money to fight the matter. The chairman of the estate, has been doing somehow. He's not really forthcoming in explaining, because he's actually sending somebody who is big in that estate to release the woman in question. So this woman feels like she needs justice, and the government should do something about it.
It's so sad. INEC is in talks with NCC, that's the Nigerian Communication Commission. And the conversation came from the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, who said that the plan is to transmit the elections directly from the 176,846 polling units across the country. And they are thinking that we don't have enough connections in all those areas for it to be seamless, but that there are some blind spots along the areas. They've had success in transmitting directly in the 105 by-elections that has been conducted since 2020 without any issues with this platform, but they are having a conversation to see how every of those, they are doing their test running transmission right now, so that they are sure by election time, every polling unit can transmit their results directly to a central server. And I'm looking forward to very safe elections. So NCC should work with INEC to ensure that this happens for us.
Okay, so let's move on to Daily Sun. Atiku attacks Tinubu over foreign trip. Presidency, why we haven't endorsed any candidate, says Igbo town unions. Atiku endorsements, Dogara seeking irrelevance, says Afegbua. Don't use religion to divide Nigeria. National Mosque imams cautions politicians. Support efforts to end AIDS. Presidency charges Nigerians. And 2023 presidential debate, Atiku Kokoso Obi lock horns. Let me take the major headlines. So the presidential candidate of the PDP spokesperson, Mr. Kola Olobodiyan, was saying that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu had gone to the UK to evade critical public scrutiny. And this was referring to the town hall meeting that was organized by Arise TV News. Says that it was an intentional way to dodge public scrutiny. However, the campaign of the APC, somebody from the Directorate of Strategic Communications of the APC campaign, that's Mr. Timitokwe Ajayi, said that it was very clear that they had actually put scheduled in plan before Arise came up with this town hall meeting. They had a plan to be at Chatham House this weekend. He said that is a long scheduled international event, and they're going to be speaking with global audience on the plans for economy and security and what his foreign policy would look like. He said that the other second reason why they would not attend that town hall meeting specifically is because they believe that Arise is an impartial, and they don't consider Arise as a credible and impartial platform for debate, as they've stated before by their spokesperson, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, on Saturday. So they're reiterating the fact that they will not go on Arise, which is their prerogative.
So okay? The Imam of the National Mosque was speaking at the National Mosque Abuja was speaking at the National Interreligious Conference organized by the Kano State government, and he raised an observation about how politicians have continued to divide the country along religious lines, and he said particularly Christianity and Islam. He says that they should be cautioned against using, religion to divide the country. He said most of them will anyway be rigging their way in the upcoming elections by hook or by crook, but some of these politicians, according to him, unfortunately, from the two religions, are using this religion to emphasize our differences, causing disagreement, violence, and fights among Nigerians. This has already begun to happen during this campaign in many places. Let me say that one will be standing on a highly dented ground if he used religion in this manner at the expense of his own country. He went on to talk about how beautiful this country is, how blessed the country is. He said that Almighty Allah has graciously granted us this country and granted us unlimited bounties in this country. This country, we should focus on the development of this country to get it to be at par with other countries that are developed, rather than continue to divide the country along religious lines. And he says that both religions also preach tolerance and peace and peaceful coexistence, and that is what should be highlighted more during this time.
Before you quickly move, this Association of Southeast Town Unions saying that they will not interfere in the politics, but they will allow Nigerians make informed choice on which of the presidential candidate they will be voting for, which is devoid of tribal and cheap considerations. And then they will now go ahead and announce their preferred candidate. So they were impressed with how the youths have become politically aware in this coming 2023 elections, and they are appealing and asking that youths should come out en masse from different professions, artisans, just come out and show support, as well as get their PVCs, because if anything goes wrong in this 2023 elections, it's going to still fall back on the young people of Nigeria.
Well, I want to take the story of NRC. So the Nigerian Railway Corporation has changed the prices of train transport from Lagos to Ibadan, Lagos to Abeokuta, and the commuters and passengers were complaining about how they were not pre-informed about this, even though the NRC released an internal circular saying they were going to increase the fares. So traveling from Lagos to Ibadan is now 9,000 for the 24-seater from what used to be 6,005. You know, what used to be 6,500 is now, what used to be 5,000 is now 6,500. What used to be 2,500 is now 3,600. For those going from Lagos to Abeokuta, what used to be 2,500 is now 3,000. What used to be 3,450. The prices have changed, even all the way to from Uromi to Itakpe and all across the nation. There's been changes in price, and commuters are complaining that they feel it is baseless and it is an undue hardship on them at this moment, just before the festive season. Vanguard,
Health Nigeria needs 12,000 doctors annually, says MDCN, Medical Doctors Association of Nigeria. Security education key to poverty reduction. Atiku sets up committee to meet G5 Wike group. All gas can't feed Nigeria's growing population, says Obasanjo. NDPHC, vandals destroy 6 transmission towers, kills 1 in Rivers. 2023, Obi Dati, NNPP, ADP, flay Dogara over group's adoption of Atiku. How we spent 13% oil derivation refund in Ondo, says Akeredolu. And Zenith Bank wins Bank of the Year, Nigeria in Bankers Award 2022. Okay.
Okay, the doctor's major headline. The president of the medical doctors, medical and dental, what's the breakdown again? MD CAM. Dr. Victor Makojola was speaking, and he said that Nigeria needs an estimated 12,000 doctors annually, and that he would take, the NMA then added that it would take 25 years to meet the 333,000 doctors that we need, so, which is the ideal target to address the health needs of the country. They said that this is based on the WHO's, of 600 persons to 1 doctor analysis, that the ratio that was given, and that with the present exodus of our doctors leaving, it will take a while for us to make it up again. It's just sad, that there was a time when Nigeria thought this was a problem, and then they subsidized the education of doctors. They made sure that we're really now qualified health practitioners, only for them to take 1 step forward and take like 3 backwards by making it tough for them to practice here and unrewarding or motivating. And then you had our doctors leaving. So we're training for other economies while we're still in need of what we train to fill. It's just painful.
Can I take the river story? So Abuja Niger Delta Power Holding Company has complained that vandals have vandalized they've killed 1 and destroyed 6 transmission towers. These are the transmission towers that bring power from the Afam to One in Rivers State, and one of the vigilantes died. They killed 1 person in the destruction. Though Vanguard is saying that it didn't really affect the production, but these are facilities that cost money to put in place, and Nigerians are vandalizing the facilities, stealing properties, and costing more money, bringing hardship to the people that are supposed to be supplied by power in those areas. Let's help ourselves.
Yeah, so quickly, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, it's a very short story, has declared that the growing population of the country, which is the oil and gas sector, can no longer feed the growing population of our country. And he was, advising that we need to pay more attention into farming and agriculture. Basically, that's how we can be able to feed our nation. So he said this while he was visited by the Apex Sociocultural Group in Tivland, Benue State. They came to pay him a visit, and then he had a conversation on this.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Veteran Nollywood Yoruba actor Lukman Ebun Oloyede, popularly known as Olaiya Igwe, has taken his support and advocacy for the emergence of the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in 2023 presidential election to another whole dimension when he went naked at the beach to pray for him. Joining us on the show is the man himself, Mr. Lukman Ebun Oloyede. Welcome to the show, sir.
Oh, good morning. Good morning.
Good to have you on the show. So you broke the internet this weekend. Everybody was like, what is going on? Wait, Baba Agbalagba.
They turn it to that.
Exactly.
I don't have that in mind.
Tell us exactly what it was about.
Well, I thank God for giving me the opportunity to be on this program.
Okay.
I am here to tender my explanation. I am not here to tender any apology.
Okay.
But I want people to know the reason why I did what I did. Okay. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Asiwaju, has done a lot in my life. And I've repeatedly said it on some of my interviews. I don't want to waste much of my time to repeat it again, but I will go straight to what I did last 4 days ago, the reason why I did it. I was asked to stand up and to go and do it spiritually. I slept. I am I have a gift of revelation by Almighty God. At times, I see what God plans for me ahead before it happened.
Okay.
I was sleeping that day, and the voice came to me and said, please stand up. You said you love Asiwaju and he has been assisting you. I said, yes. Stand up, go and do this for him. I am an artist or a beat politician. But professionally, I am an artist.
Right.
And I said, okay, as an artist, I can do it, but I should think about my immediate family.
Right.
But I want to tell you something. I can do anything to support Asiwaju. As long as I believe this thing has nothing to do with any other person,
right,
I can do it to any length.
Let me get a few more questions in from you, because I know the ladies have a few questions for you.
Yes. So I know that people who are really spiritual, they use different things to pray. We see women wake up in the middle of the night to pray for their children. So this just shows me that there's a strong support. You really have a strong feeling towards your principal, and you really want to see him succeed. But my worry is, how did he get into the internet? Were you doing it and you had someone who was posting, recording you or something?
Thank you. If you are a Yoruba, Babalawo can say, okay, if you want to do this prayer, make sure you go to various markets. On a market day, carry a ball. And a lot of people will be there.
Yeah.
There's no difference of doing that to what I did. I deliberately recorded that event.
Oh.
I deliberately, for people to see.
Okay.
It is not because of money.
Deliberate.
Okay. Yeah, because, it was an intentional that I should do that, because I listened to
the voice.
And then you posted it yourself?
Of course.
Oh.
Okay.
I did it.
That video showed that, you did it deliberately.
Deliberately.
Obviously.
And I have no cause to regret.
It showed a lot of work. Now, the issue of regret is subject, because it could have been, it seems counterproductive. You edited it and put the lighting effects in the video. Did you think after the video that, this could be counterproductive, or has it been productive to you?
No, it can't, and I will tell you why. Firstly, When I was in university recently, they taught us one subject, they call it individual differences under mass communication. As long as I'm doing what I'm doing and I believe that thing cannot affect any other person,
Right.
I think I have freedom of that. So, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu is a big fish in my life.
In the lives of many.
I don't know yours, but in
In the
my
lives of many.
God bless you, my sister. It's a big fish in my life, and I know that it's going to be the president of this great nation very soon.
Okay. So let me come in at that point because people were commenting under there are lots of, oh, you broke the internet. It's not small. And the comments were like, oh, he's trying to be relevant. He wants people to know that he did something. If they say you should go and do it, do you need to let everybody know that you did it? But if you don't let people know, they will not get any appointment that comes in time when things are coming in, that it is a commercial game. Everybody is trying to be relevant. And you've already said that this is a personal decision and you have a freedom to do what you want to do. But you must also realize that you are a role model. You know, everybody, majority of the Yorubas, and I'm sure even non-Yorubas, grew up watching you. And to see a video like that, it will be sending mixed messages. Some people got different messages. Some people watched that video and they got, you can hear a voice and the voice will say you should go and pray naked and you should go and pray naked. That it's acceptable. Some people got the fact that I want to be politically relevant. I want this Asiwaju Bola Ahmed to know that I am in the...
I work for him.
I work for him.
Thank you. Not because of that, my sister. I've been mentioning Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu. I've been telling people what he has been doing in my life since, not because of the election period, not because of that at all. Now, whatever the thought, my decision is my decision. I did it deliberately to support Asiwaju. It's a program.
Did you have
that
to be naked though?
No, I need to.
That's the instruction.
For that instruction, I need to.
But my question is...
But I did not show my toto or whatever.
Yeah.
I show my back.
Right.
Then you made mention of one thing. You said role model. That word model, some model will naked and display for people to say that they are model. I am a theater person. I did not show what people expect to see.
Right.
I did not show that. I show my back. And the camera did not pick that in.
Right.
So I thank God for that. So that is the reason why they are saying people are annoying because of this particular election.
Well, would you say...
Some people that are talking are from other party.
But would you say...
Believe that, and some agitators of Yoruba, whatever, whatever. I don't want to
Some will say you're doing it out of fear that Asiwaju might lose. Is it like, so he doesn't lose, so let me go and do? Is it like somebody woke you up, this man will lose the election, so you have to go and do this ritual too?
God will not send me what, God will never send me what will not work. Believe me, today, Asiwaju is going to be the president of Nigeria very soon. You will see.
What has the feedback been like from the Asiwaju's team since the release of the video?
Yeah, has there been any feedback?
Have they reached out to you?
Who called you?
I'm so sorry. I am not here to tell you all those things.
No, okay.
It's a personal thing to me.
Okay.
Okay. Can
When
we
you
please
say
go?
personal, see, when I was preparing for this, when I heard that you're coming, I was thinking to myself, and I said, I was trying to see where you're coming from. Because my job is always to look at all the three sides. And, you know, when you say your video that you felt like it was like you owed him, this is something he has done. And I'm saying, just like Nima said, we're all in that shoe. Because even I can tell you that Asiwaju has done enough in my own life.
Yes.
Even my father was sick when he was practically abandoned by almost everybody. After he had a stroke, many people abandoned my father. Asiwaju took care of my dad, made sure my mother was okay, did a lot for my family. So when you say you feel like you owe, I understand that sentiment. I feel that payback time people are saying, I understand it because I understand I'm coming from that shoe. But will I go to the extent to go naked to prove that?
Or is this the best?
Is that the best way to show this man the gratitude, which many say that is payback time? So that's the question.
You've mentioned your own experience. And earlier, I have said I taught about one subject when I was in university. Yes. That's individual differences. What you cannot do does not say I cannot do it. My own, Asiwaju can be described as a product. I am a marketer. advertise or even spiritually or physically, I can sell my product the way I want it. I can go at length to support Asiwaju in any form.
Are you a Muslim or a Christian?
You want me to tell you the truth? I'm an allergic.
Let me drink water on this one.
I am my name,
What does that mean?
My name is Asiwaju Ebun Oloyede.
So what does that mean?
That's
Muslim.
It means I'm a Muslim.
Okay,
Now, Muslim did not permit that.
okay, just make
Muslim did not permit that.
Okay.
But forget about religion this time around.
Okay.
I heard
You went
voice.
traditional.
Not traditional. Don't
okay.
put me
Spiritual.
where I don't. Yeah, I had a voice.
Voice.
That's what I told you. You put the religion aside.
Please, let me just quickly.
Then we're going to break. When we come back, we continue our conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing with our guest. We had a question for him.
So we've had this conversation a few times concerning the impact of Nollywood on our people, how Nollywood makes people see traditionalism. You can go and meet a babalawo and they will tell you, this is what you should do. For Ori Elemefa, KJ, do something else. That's wash your head 6 times, and the 7th time, maybe you hit the head on the wall, and then they'll say something will not happen
Say it
to
as
you.
they used to do in the film. And they'll throw the sponge and don't
You
look
know,
back.
throw the sponge to the back. I don't look back. You know, this, especially within the Nollywood industry, they entrench this spiritual that does not give room for you to just, without putting a lot of logic. And we've seen the impact. Small children, I want to be Yahoo boy. Another person will say, I want to go and they should cut soap for me so that I will do it. So we are not seen as something to aspire towards. And your actions now outside the movie, and so that they say it's our culture, that's what people do around. And we've argued it's not culture, it's skinny corn, it's not culture. But now you've taken it out of movie into real life. When we sit in the movie, you say nobody does this. But sir, you are a well-known person doing this. How would you feel if other people start saying they also heard voices and they're going to the streets, that the voice told them they should stand in the middle of the street and dance naked?
Well, that's their own problem. If God did not tell you something and you went straight, you go out and do it, well, you will see the end of it. You will see the result. So I don't need to tell anybody not to do it, but listen to the voice before you do it. Very simple answer.
Okay.
So if I did not hear anything from Almighty God, do you think I will go to that extent? I will not.
Sometimes you hear things that you feel convincingly about. You know, a lot of people, I see a lot of people stand up for Asiwaju. MC Olomo has led million matches, used his machinery continuously because he owes him a lot.
We did it together. He's my brother.
So I've thought you'd run this through someone. Did you run it through anyone that this voice I have heard, or did you just single-handedly take the decision?
Thank you very much. I single-handedly take my own decision. I took it, and I did it myself. I did not discuss with any other person.
It's only yours.
Yes. And let me quickly tell you, some people are doing this kind of a thing by giving them money. I don't do it because of money. I am doing it on merit. What Asiwaju have done? Asiwaju holds my soul. The Almighty God used Asiwaju and Dapo Abiodun. When I first sick, Asiwaju and Dapo Abiodun and MC Oluomo, he used them to hold my soul. And we are talking about the body. What is in the body? Somebody that holds my soul, that I should not go, I should not die young. And you think I cannot do anything for that person?
Okay.
So I am in support of Asiwaju. Yeah. And I believe Asiwaju will win the election and this country will change.
So I'm a new fan, sir, because I'm somebody who believes if you do something and believe in something, do it with your chest. Be bold about your decisions and stand by it. And I actually appreciate such people. It shows me a form of integrity. This is what I've done, and I'm standing by it. However, what I hear is a lot of people are trying to pay back, use the word payback. It's time. Let's pay back. Are we paying back from something we think belongs to us? Like, is the country my family property that I want to use to appreciate the good deeds somebody else has done? Are you looking at him to say, okay, I think this man can, manage the resources of this country. He has the capacity. Or are you just sentimental about the payback?
No. I've seen, when Asiwaju was a governor of Lagos State, I was not young to that extent. I'm a matured person. Then I saw what he did. The man performed more than people's expectations. That one alone is enough for me to support him, apart from the voice that I had.
Let's go back to this voice. How often do you hear these voices?
When I slept that day, when I was sleeping, I heard it. It came like a revelation.
So how often, like, do you hear it for your children? Do you hear it for your family? Do
No.
you hear it, or just this
No.
one time, first time?
No,
I heard this voice.
No. That's been happening to me on series of matters.
Okay.
Different matters.
Different matters.
Where you heard
yes.
the voice, and this voice always tells
And
you
I
to go
used to
naked.
that. I used to that, yes.
This voice always tells you to go naked all the time.
Thank you very much. It did not. I did not do that before.
Oh.
Have you ever seen me nakedly on social media? I'm just asking. When you did not see me on something of that, definitely the one I did, I was instructed to do that one.
Right.
You understand me? That's what it's a task.
So you're a thespian. You've been acting for a long time. For me, when I saw it, I was like, well, he's an actor. Maybe he's just acting.
No, it's not just an actor, no. It's just not like, though I'm an actor, I'm a professional theater practitioner, but that one, don't see it as an acting.
Do you think this would affect your career, sir? Do you think people would still want to engage you to do their movies, knowing that you've gone all out like this, go naked for Asiwaju?
Well, I would say no, it won't affect my career for some philosophers and wise people. But some dumb, they can think otherwise because they don't really understand what we call revelation. You understand me? So that's all. Now, after that, I got 3 days ago, after I went to the beach and did what I do, I received another ambassadorship, and it's part of it. So I believe it won't affect me.
When we hear going to the beach to do that kind of thing, we always hear things like water spirits, they're conjuring with the Ogbanjes, Abikus, and all that. Are you not afraid that is influencing? What's Yemoja?
Well, I don't need to be afraid. It depends on my
conviction.
You understand?
There's a clash of religion here and practice. I am Muslim, and I understand native ways very well. Sometimes I threaten my friend, I go naked swear for you, because I understand native ways. But it's not something I would ever do. I can threaten with it, but it's not something I would ever do.
That is the reason why I said individual differences.
Yeah, just a moment. So when you hear voices as a Muslim, does it now translate in the ways that are not Muslim? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Being at the beach, be in front of the ocean, signifies worship of the deity of the ocean, which is Yemoja in Yoruba custom, and in another custom, I mean any name, And the Beninese, when they go before the beach, it has a deeper meaning. They worship the deity. And you are Muslim. There's a clash here for a Muslim.
Thank you very much. I want you to go back and rewatch the video. You will see that I did not mention Yemoja.
Olodumare.
Yes. So you forget about that. Leave that to Almighty God and my very self.
To judge.
To judge. I did not mention Yemoja. Yemoja, Oluweri. Don't forget. I followed the instruction and I did it.
And you mentioned the creator of the Yemoja himself.
And I want to tell you, Mrs. Olaiya Igwe Tinubu was the one that did a wonderful thing in my life before I knew Asiwaju, our husband. And I will never forget. I am not here to abuse anybody or to insult anybody. Those who have abused me, those who have done a lot of things, attacked, I saw everything on social media. You are nice. You are still my party. All I need is your vote for Asiwaju. Let's put the man there. It will surprise everybody in an alternative way. Believe me. Okay. Forget about my nakedness. You did not see my.
Oh, we can't forget about your nakedness.
This breakfast food, sir.
Forget about that one.
We can't forget it.
You cannot forget it.
This one they won't forget in a long time.
And you need my ID.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's unforgettable.
The only thing you cannot forget is my toto, and I did not show it.
Jesus Christ.
I did not show it.
This is
now.
Monday morning.
It's difficult for me to see an agbalagba like you talking like toto.
Don't be annoyed. There are people put me that way.
Okay,
They push me there.
Let me wrap up. Let us. It's still Monday. Let us not get to. It's still Monday. But thank you very much for coming to clarify. Because we're equally shocked, just like many Nigerians. Chelsea, but people say, Baba, you did you. But you know, listen, it's your choice. You're an adult. You've done what you feel you need to do. And everybody is respected for their own choices, but
you know, when I wear something, I wear something.
You didn't wear anything, no?
I wear something.
I read the inside.
Nylon. We are using it for film making, but nobody can see that.
No, you turn back.
Yes, nylon. I wear it. Okay. Yes, well, you cannot know. Okay. Yes.
Wow.
But they did not know. Wow. All I want is, I want everybody.
Nah, body has calmed down.
Of course.
I think
that is all we can take on this segment. Thank you very much, Alhaji, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, madam.
I just hope that we won't get any more surprises and no more voices, at least.
Please,
voices. Now, after the while, let the lectures finish.
But I haven't finished the program. No, the one that
they told you.
I'm still continue. That is part 1. You cannot see nakedness again, but you will see another surprise for Asiwaju from me.
Okay, that's all we can take on this segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So last week, Wednesday, the Federal Executive Council, FEC, approved a national language policy for the country. According to the Minister of Education, Malama Adamu, the policy would institutionalize teaching in primary schools in their mother tongue. Now, we discussed it a bit last week when we heard, but on the show, we'll be having in very soon the Chairman House of Representative Committee on Basic Education and Services, Honorable Professor Julius O. Ihonvere. He'll be joining us soon. But before he comes in, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, because I remember Nima saying very clearly that it was a great idea, but execution is a whole different ballgame. What are your thoughts on this, on the fact that this is being considered, and this is something that how effective do you think it will be? I don't like to. BC would like to let you start because.
Okay, so I personally like this. I think this is a step in the right direction. I've compared most superpowers, and I've seen that they start their instruction in their local language. I was saying recently to somebody that, have we noticed that in Africa we don't have science textbooks done in our local languages? All over the world, if you go to China, you go to Russia, you go to India, you go to some countries, you see that their science textbooks, their textbooks for schools are done in their local languages. And it gives the children a proper understanding of those concepts. And that's why they are able to build technology that the world is using. But the only thing we have in our local languages is the Bible. In different local languages. We don't have textbooks in local languages. So this, for me, is sort of a deliberate attempt to keep Africa in the dark, where we are focusing on religion. We are forgetting how to build things that will make our lives easier and put us on that platform. So this, for me, is like a wake-up call. Nigeria is now saying, let us do this mother tongue instructions in primary school. And people have been saying, okay, which mother tongue now will you pick? We have different, languages, different ethnic groups, which one would you pick? I would say that if I want to believe that there will be proper planning for this. It's going to take a long time, and the Minister of Education has also said it. There'll be proper planning in such a way that each center, whatever dominant language is spoken in that center, will be the language that will be taught in school. So if, for instance, I move to Lagos State, I should be okay. We're talking about being one Nigeria. I should be okay for my children to understand Yoruba as the local language in this. And if I don't like it, I can move back to Delta State so that they understand maybe is Yoruba or Igbo or whatever dominant language is spoken in that place. That way, we're able to build a one Nigeria, not just for the academic purpose, but then everybody can, because when you're filling forms, they don't say which mother tongue language do you speak. They ask you what languages do you speak. Let me leave it here for now.
Okay. I thought you finished it.
I'd not finished anything.
I was born in Lagos, and I come from
Yoruba passos.
both. No, I learned Yoruba in the university. I've said it. I read Yoruba through childhood. I had A's in Yoruba, but I couldn't speak it as fluently as I do now until I was in university, and I learned it because of couscous and gossip. But I remember in primary school, my parents had this exact clash, because the federal government at the time had issued a language policy thing where they were advising schools to teach in languages. So 3 compulsory languages were issued in my school then: Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba, in primary school then. Because of this difficulty, my parents opted, just as you said, for the Yoruba language which was spoken here. All my Alawiye books there was this public policy book my dad brought home. It was written in Yoruba. I struggled to read it and find interpretation. I remember that struggle. I remember in secondary school, when I wanted to pick the Hausa language, there was no Hausa teacher available in secondary school, because it was still compulsory for us to take a Nigerian language, Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. There was an Igbo teacher available, there was a Yoruba teacher available, but I wanted to do Hausa, deliberately, because I felt, it was more common, and it was, a language of preference for me at the time. But there was no Hausa teacher available, and the Igbo teacher was always calling us Anumanu, Anumanu. I found out it was animal.
Anumanu.
So we opted for Yoruba, not because the Yoruba teacher was so pleasant. She was also cursing all the time. But then it was the language I had learned over time, and it was the language available in the region. So there's so many things. I love this policy. God knows I do. But I have been through being born from parents from a different native, born in a different state, forced to learn. And throughout school then, even my language, I was learning it from home as a thing. So here is my concern. If a parent of a Sakot descent like mine, and they teach their children, or they speak at home a particular language, they're struggling to pass to their children because they're raising them in a different environment where the language is not well spoken, and they take that child to school, can they insist on the language of mother tongue for that child to learn? Because there's this clash for me. When I was speaking Esako at home, I would get to school, teachers would speak in English, my neighbors would speak Yoruba. For a long time, I was a quiet child. Me, that I'm a bubbly person, up until I got to secondary school. I'll be looking like this. I want to communicate, but there was this clash. You go to Ileke, Afa will speak Yoruba. You come home, my mom will insist, I don't understand English, until you speak the Esako language. And my father, who was even lenient to speak English. So there was this clash and confusion. How exactly do we plan to effect this? When it is an intertribal marriage, when it is a different environment, all of these dynamics, because we must have it neatly done. The way my parents sorted it out was a lot of deliberate work, buying the books, doing the exposure themselves. What is the federal government policy? How is it going to be implemented?
Let me bring in our guests.
Have we foreseen these clashes? What are we doing to take care of them?
Okay, let me bring in our guests. I'm told that Honorable Professor Julius Ihonvere, OON, member, representative, O1 Federal Constituency, is on the phone with us. Good morning, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Okay, we're having connection issues. So let me come and hear your thoughts on this issue. Do you agree with it, and do you think it's a good idea at this time?
I think that one of the challenges we're already experiencing it, that we'll continue to have, is a sense of identity, or a lack of strong identity. And one of the ways that we can strengthen identity is through language, There's this poet that poem went viral, and she spoke about how people don't curse me for my mother tongue. It is unique, it is different, and it is a beautiful thing that we should encourage. Of course, BC has spoken about the challenges and the opportunities. I also feel like it's interesting when I get to meet an Igbo person who said, I was born in Zaria, I speak Hausa fluently, and then now he's in Lagos. I'm like, this is
Sweet.
so beautiful.
Sweet.
Because your name is Igbo, you grew up in the north, and you could speak the language. And I think that's the beauty it must happen. You know, wherever you grow up, you should understand, you should be able to communicate with people that are there. And even children psychologically can learn 3 languages, multiple,
simultaneously,
simultaneously without any stress. So we should let children expand in true sense what they have capacity to do, and it will also generate employment, because people go to university to study Yoruba and they don't have jobs. They end up being in the bank or end up as administrators somewhere. So if you go and study Yoruba or go and study Igbo, you should be able to further that knowledge you have gotten and put it into human beings. Then morals are stronger in our native language.
Yeah.
There is the way you will say it, there are some proverbs that there's no way to say it in English. It is just better in Yoruba. Strong proverbs that go deep into our subconscious to help us understand the things that English cannot help us communicate.
Yeah.
So I believe that as a nation, dealing with identity crisis, dealing with corruption, building a more unified system, we need to go back into our language.
All right, so let me bring in our guest, because I have a few questions for him also. Honorable Professor Julius Ihovere, welcome, sir. Are you there?
I'm here. Thank you very much.
Good to have you on the show. So this issue that we're discussing, the fact that they're trying to institutionalize local language teaching in our primary schools. Do you agree with it? And do you think the modalities will be put right to execute this properly?
Thank you very much. First is to commend the federal government and the relevant ministry for thinking through this issue at this time. Nothing could be better in terms of trying to get our children to begin to understand and learn and communicate in their local languages. However, I have my doubts. As Chairman House Committee on Basic Education, we have no knowledge about the processes that led to this announcement. This is the problem in the country. People are not carried along. Stakeholders are not carried along. I don't know what level of consultation they have gone through. I'm not aware that the existing languages that they want to be now deployed have been adequately studied and reduced into writing at a level that they can be used for instruction. I am also not aware that they have identified the relevant institutions that will be in charge of developing these languages, ensuring that they are deepened and expanded to cover much more than the English language can communicate. Thirdly, I am not aware that as of today, they have even made any effort to recruit and train instructors and teachers in the local languages that will be used to teach these children. And even that they have carried parents and communities along so that they can even have informal or non-formal teachers in the communities that are well-versed in the local languages that could assist the teachers that have been so trained. So I just hope it is not one of those announcements designed to make people happy that government wants to bring our local languages in. So it's like putting the cart before the horse.
Exactly
again.
what I was going to say.
The background investigations, the background consultations, the background trainings, the background development of manuals and curricula, and even instructional materials ought to have come first. Without that, this is just going to end up in the usual announcement.
Exactly.
So for me as a committee, it's a good idea. It's long overdue, but I do not think we've put in place the appropriate institutional and other instructional requirements to make sure it is a success.
I think I can't agree with you more. I think because I was actually going to say exactly those words. You can put in the cart before the horse, because many people migrate around the country. You know, if we all kind of if we stayed within our own zones and you learn your language and develop your community, it's more impactful. But somebody learns their language, for example, maybe Isako. You learn how to do biology, chemistry, everything in Isako. You now relocate to the north at some point, and then you are confused on how to even do anything. So though the modalities is not clear, so it's nice announcements are great, but how do you execute a whole different ballgame?
Can I ask a question? So I know that Nigeria has a penchant for putting the cart before the horse, but Nigerians themselves are not patient people. This is something that will take years to do. Can we calm down and begin to ask the right questions, which is, one of them is, how will they pick a dominant language in a state? Because I know that in every local government or every state has different languages, different ethnic groups. How would they select the right language? And if the federal government selects the right language, how do we support them to ensure and not feeling like we are marginalized? We are people that you find it difficult to please Nigerians. So you say, because you did not speak my own, I will not speak your own. It's not possible. Go and study other countries, how they decided and picked on one language from each community, which they stand out with. So if you are asking the federal government to do your job, which is help you teach your children the language, if you decide to relocate to another place, your children will learn the language of that place. Okay, and that makes us total Nigerians. So sir, I think, or do you think that we Nigerians are not patient enough to allow the federal government to fine-tune this?
On the contrary, my sister, I think we are patient. It is the government that creates the problems for us. Take, for instance, people blame us for going on strike. But it is the government that told them to go on strike when it refuses to keep up with its own agreement. The same thing here. We have not set up a process at all to engage the general public, the communities and constituencies on the issues that the government wants to address, on why this is important. And like you rightly said, you can find some local governments, even some communities with about 8, 9, 10 languages.
Pick one. Which
one are we going to pick?
That's the
How do we convince the others that are sub-languages, even sections of sub-languages, to say everything in your language is included in this one? So let us use this. It is not designed to dominate you. It is designed to expand the process of learning for your child. These conversations are not taking place at all. So I have my doubts that the government really knows what it is doing or what it is doing and really wants to do it.
I think the major problem for me is families already leaving their mother tongue for, for the English language. Because a child must even have a mother tongue from home. And most children now these days, they start with calling their mommy, mommy, instead of mama or any other language. So how do we determine the mother tongue? Even from home now, let's leave the regionalities and all the ethnicities. Do you agree, sir?
No, I agree completely with you. We are losing the language, particularly those of us who migrated, moved to the city, etc. Those who have gone abroad, it is very expensive to have people come over to teach your children. So I believe that this issue is very, very important to help us reclaim what we have lost and what we are losing. But so as not to create crisis and conflicts and even battles within communities, there are steps that ought to be taken. And I think the government immediately should set up maybe a language commission, encourage it in different states and local governments with clear mandates of what they should be doing, so that they can begin to address the fundamental issues, so that we don't, as usual, begin to address the symptoms of the problem rather than the causes. We don't begin to pursue the superstructure and neglect the substructure where the contradiction is.
All right, thank you very much.
I agree completely.
Yeah, let me let you go at this point, because I think you totally, you've been able to help us understand that the federal government obviously are not prepared for this great idea they're coming up with, and we'll continue to monitor that story. And let me go on a break now. When we come back, we hear our viewers' thoughts on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing these languages. And I mean, many of these countries that we talk about, many of them have one language. Some of them have evolved over the years. We are struggling with over 300 languages. And it's a difficult choice because you say, let them decide. Who is them? We're government. We put yourself in the person that's going to decide. Put your mind on that person. How is that person going to decide which language to pick? It's a difficult decision. So it's a good idea. But execution is a whole different ballgame because there are human beings going to decide, not robots. So when we put it in that perspective, does it make sense at this time? Do you think it's a decision we should have taken years ago? Now we're all speaking Pidgin or English. Should we find a common ground with Pidgin English across? But what are your thoughts? Let me come to Tokwe first, and then I'll come to you because I know you want to talk. But let me come to Tokwe. Your thoughts on this?
So I think that there's never going to be a right time to do, a wrong time to do the right thing. You know, it's something that we should have inculcated right from time. I look at India especially, and I'm really impressed about how, despite our own excuse of colonialism, they managed to hold on to their culture consistently over the years, even when they relocate. And so that's why, even if it looks like the government didn't think this, it doesn't look like they thought it through when they made that decision. It's a good decision, and sometimes you will lead with the vision and everybody would rally around to conform. Languages, we have several languages in the country, and I know that we feel like Pidgin is a neutral ground for everyone to, all of us to just conform. But I also think that I don't agree with it. Let me just put it that way, because Pidgin has different shades. Pidgin in Wari is different from Pidgin in Yoruba, and Pidgin in the North is different from Pidgin everywhere. So let's just learn our true language, the one that is our own. Let's not pseudo-English. Let's not create a pseudo-English. Let's learn Igbo, let's learn Yoruba, let's learn Hausa, let's learn Tiv, let's learn whatever language we can learn and start creating awards for that category. BC said something about religion being democratized to the point where everybody, no matter where you are, you can understand your religion. But we haven't done that academically to ensure that you can understand your academic, whichever language you need to use to get it. So I think it is a really, really right direction. We'll keep on fleshing it out as we grow.
So one of the things I do is to look at the solution and now not give myself 100 reasons why it will not work. It's not going to start and then everything is, you know, fantastic at the beginning. We'll face challenges, but like they said, it's just for primary 1 to primary 6, which at that time, they're not even, those kids are not even supposed to be doing anything meaningful in school. It's just about interaction and all that. The way they do it outside the country, we're always looking at international best practices. But in our nursery too, we want them to read from 1 to 200, which meanwhile, they are cramming that subject. So if we come down to having those local languages, I used to ask myself a question. I said, how did they select? So in Igbo language, there's an official Igbo language. How did they come to that selection? How did they select this particular? There are several dialects in Igbo language, but they have one that you write and you read and you pass in exams. Yoruba has one that is official. The Hausa language has an official one. So if they can select it for the major languages, why can't they select one in her community as the official? So the problem I see is because we are not united in nature, everybody wants to be the head, nobody wants to be the tail. If you come to Delta State, for instance, and you say because of the population in Delta State, probably the Urobos are more, and we pick Urobo to be the dominant local language for that place. Why will I, an Asaba person, be quarreling that they did not pick Asaba? No, I don't mind having my children speak Urobo. Because they will ask, the only question you get is, how many languages do you speak? So let's focus on that.
I get that. That's valid. But you see, as we evolve, you see, in the past, 20, 30 years ago, certain tribes hadn't really evolved to the point where they are visible today. When we were growing up, it was Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. Yes. When I was a child, I didn't know anything else until I started growing up. I started hearing of Urobo, Isako. I'm hearing it for the first time because I'm growing up into it. So communities will begin to develop.
It's where you grow up.
I'm telling you, you understand. The point is, as communities grow, they will challenge that. Why did you pick that language?
Because we're not united.
No. It's a natural evolution. Because as you grow, the same way Africa now is evolving, there was a time they came slavers to pick us. And now, we are now evolving. We're saying, no, you know what? You can't be the world leader anymore. We also are a world leader because we are evolving. So people will, the natural evolution of people will develop to the point where, I wanted to just say, they can respond to both of us.
So the Chinese have a major language, and you have some minority languages struggling to remain a language. They're saying, do not wipe us extinct. So you will have that.
Absolutely.
In the Esako languages, there are too many. I remember growing up, the Fugas, they speak different. But there was a major, they were evolving to the point they had major similar numbers, similar money. They had a currency before these slave buyers came and started to tell us that our currencies, our monies were not the same as that in England. And they converted it to gunpowder, human beings, and all of that. So they stunted us. But if we give ourselves time, we will get there. What is important is what BC said. The developmental stage of a child is in primary school. Let that child understand the most important thing, which is to speak something that is cultural. And there's no culture without language.
Yeah.
Every culture has a language. I want to support Tokwe that we cannot have a form of pidgin as any form
I don't
of
even
language.
agree, yeah.
But let us have a language that everybody would understand. By now, if they have left us, I will understand Igbo. You will understand Yoruba. We will understand each other. We just might choose not to speak it as what we inherited.
Absolutely.
But we will understand it if we have left ourselves. But that choice of English language is affecting every other available opportunity to
I've been a
develop.
proponent of this for years.
Yes.
You know, from day one, I always talked about this. I mean, I believe that we should actually resort to a local language. But it's one thing to have a great idea, it's another thing to totally execute. We have to wrap up.
Yeah.
That's all we can take on today's show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.